Concrete jungle where dreams are made from. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in. Dude, that song's stuck in my head now. Breakdown, breakdown. All right, so check this out. The chorus of the is this first thing that happens in this song, and it's "I hope you burn." Um, I came up with that melody after like 2 minutes of getting the strings originally sent to me by my producer, and I was like, "Oh, this did be like burn." And at the same time, uh, that's how the song started. Is I was like, "Yo, it'd be cool if I made a melody that followed this burn burn thing." And then I was like, "Who do I really want to burn?" And as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Eminem. Uh, and a little backstory on this song. And I ask that every single person in this, if you can here, please keep my personal life separate from anything to do with us. So we're not looking anyone up or doing anything like this. But as you can imagine, I have daddy issues. And in short, I was raised in a decently homophobic family. Some of you guys have potentially met family members. Please never look them up. But if you've ever met one, just know that that's just you're not actually meeting my family member. It's whatever specifically this member of the family wanted to portray to you, which I'm sure anyone here who's had manipulative parents knows what it's like when you have other people around that are new and they act like a whole different person. It's pretty crazy. But the point being, I haven't talked to, or when I wrote this at least, I hadn't talked to my dad in like 2 months or so, and I just kind of pretty much lost connection with him. And I had this anger built up for everything he did to me as a kid. And I started connecting the dots and talking with my therapist and realizing that so many of my problems stemmed from my father. And I decided I'd write a fictional story. I did not actually burn my father down, but I decided I'd write a fictional story, um, kind of about my relationship with my father, but instead of how do I push it to the extreme? I love theatrical things, and for me, it was like, what if it's a murder story? And especially as a fan of My Chemical Romance, uh, I thought it would be perfect. So I did metaphorically burn the bridge. So there, the chorus is, "I hope you burn, burn, baby, burn. It's your turn to feel the guilt and ashes." By guilt and ashes, I'm referring to the trauma. It's a metaphor for the trauma that you branded my back with. Basically, I feel like all of my persona and so much of my insecurities came from my parents and the way I was raised. By parents, I mean one specific one. Um, and at the time, it was crazy. I almost felt like if I ever didn't speak to this person again, and they ever passed away, I just wouldn't care. I genuinely wouldn't care. So I said I'd want you to burn because I just didn't care. And I said this is what you wanted because I can't imagine, is this what you wanted? Like, this is what you wanted. This is what your son became, and this is what you caused, which is obviously pretty dramatic. And I guess I'm a dramatic person, but it felt right at the time. So then I wanted to get into the story, lock the door behind me. So in my head, I created this scenario where a character is getting revenge on their father for abuse, but pushing it to the extreme, which I never condone physical harm to anyone. Please don't do that. But the story is lock the door behind me, show no proof. So I imagine the character walked in the building, closed the door behind them with gloves on. They're carrying a gas container. And you'll see this in the music video, which is pretty sick. You reek of booze, hinting that the father is an alcoholic. But they'll never find the proof that I poured gasoline, not you. Basically, if the house burns down with both people in it, no one will know who it was. And there was, and they'll never know. So, oh, father, want to hear a joke. A son walks in his home to throw a match and watch his father turn ash. Now, this is like a lot of imagery. And I, uh, I, okay. So what was I going to say? It's deep. Oh, I'm looking at the comments real quick. I appreciate you guys. Um, so, this is like the story. We're setting up the story back into the chorus, which for me, I was like, there's no such thing as hell. For me, my personal belief is I don't believe in that. I respect everyone else's beliefs. And by the way, we will never judge someone being religious. It is not okay to judge people for not being religious. We can't judge people for anything. We let people do their thing, and we let's let people mind and mind your own business. That's my theory. Um, okay. Sorry, bad service, but okay. So okay. It should be coming back. Never judge someone for their Wi-Fi connection. Okay, so there's no such thing as hell, but if there was, you'd be the first to burn. That just felt like a pretty hard dig. So then now we go to the who's the fag now. So that's a name I've been called so much of my life, and I personally identify with it at this point. I'm bisexual. I'm proud of it. And I wanted to take the power back. And that line is all about taking the power back, especially from a homophobic father. And in this story, the character's father was homophobic. So it's about taking that power back and obviously completing this revenge mission. So die black in the sky, we're referring to smoke. That's like the smoke coming up from the fire. And verse 2 is very, very personal. I remember writing verse 2 in a car. Uh, and I recorded verse 2 in a car, believe it or not, because I just didn't want anyone to hear me. And I wanted to have a really private moment with the mic. And so obviously the lyrics of verse 2 are about just some personal things I've went through. I actually don't want to read these out loud because it does feel pretty personal now that I'm looking at this, and it's kind of hard. There's not too many metaphors. I think it's more like just notes and a chance for me to vent. And in hindsight, reading over all of these lyrics, it's pretty clear what the emotion of the song was, and that there didn't need metaphors. This was basically a chance for me to vent, which, by the way, once again, now is a chance to nail in the point. Hurting yourself helps no one. It'll only set you back. If you get a chance, always use music, use writing, poetry, or art as a form of coping. And that's what I did. This song is a way for me to cope. And I don't think it's a good idea for me to go into the lyrics too much into detail. You can we'll leave things open for interpretation there, but wow. Okay. Yeah. If you need help, we have a resources page, a mental health resources page. There's crisis lines for anyone who needs those. I think that's really important too. This is a pretty intense song. And it was just a chance for me to vent. And I'm really glad I got to release it and I'm glad people can relate. Um, I, uh, I obviously I would never condone violence, never hurt anyone. Please do not. And violence is not the answer. But you know what is the answer is blasting the song. If you feel angry, I hope this song can be something you will be able to blast. And rather than hurting anyone, you can just blast the song and scream it in your car. So that's the goal with it. Um, and I hope that makes sense. Now I'm here to answer some questions. I'm in the chat right now. If you guys have any questions you wanted to ask me, hit me with it. I'm reading the chat. I'm listening to Burn in class. That's crazy. What do you guys want to know or ask? You have a question for Cam? Hit us with it, Madison. Where'd you find the violinist? On Instagram. He was great. His name is Klajan. The song reminds you. I understood Average Loser Kid. What was the inspo to the violin? It was actually sent to me by my producer originally, that violin line, and it just felt like a hook. I was like, that's gonna be the song. When did I write Burn? I wrote Burn in November, right after tour. Um, uh, what's that? December. You need song recommendations. I recommend Burn by TX2. When's the music video coming? Next week. When did you write Burn? Sage, I wrote it in December. What is Cam's middle name? Suklami, Serbian, John Vincent, like Danger, Cameron Danger Rastami. Um, Glad you love Burn. Can you bop Cam? Been bopped. Advice on getting people to stop bullying you. You can't stop people. Unfortunately, they will, and it's always a projection of themselves. The number one thing you can do is defend yourself by taking care of yourself. Find a therapist if you can. Um, away from it, know that it's not personal, and put yourself first. Anytime someone is bullying you, they're projecting themselves onto you. And I get bullied all the time. The internet loves to do its thing on me. And so if you get bullied, it sounds like we have something in common, but it's not personal and it's not a you thing. Okay. How do you start a band? Just post about it. Ask any friends you can if they know people, and eventually it'll come around. It's definitely a Villainera song, Percy. Just telling you that you did. Thank you for saying that, Waste. or why I don't know how to say that. WYST. Wist. I think I said it. Or is it Weist or Wist? I'm sorry. How do you do the emo rock stream? We'll do a tutorial for that soon. Is Cam Italian? No. Cam Danger, love it. Uh, Violinist coming on tour. On the headliner, we might bring him up for select shows. The first time you said it right, got it. Wist. You're the short term monster wanting for a good for short term ever make a. I don't think short term will ever make a comeback. I appreciate that. Lilo, I'm gonna announce the video release date as soon as we have a copy of it, but most likely Friday next week. Are we doing okay mentally? We're doing great. We're actually about to we're on a trip right now to Arizona, and we're gonna write an album. And like I said, I'm gonna write this album like it's the one thing I'll leave behind, and I'll put my heart into it so that this year I think we're gonna take over the rock space. But that's the breakdown on the song. That's what I was thinking firsthand from me. You heard it from me, and I ask. We don't look anyone up. We don't ever. We use music for revenge, but we don't actually achieve revenge physically ever. I never condone that, and it is not a good way to do it. It's better to just write a song about doing it. So that's the advice of today. I love you all, and thanks for coming, guys. Take care. Keep blasting the song, blowing it up, and let's hope we have a viral moment soon. Thank you all. I'm gonna head out. Keep chatting if you want, and thanks for being here, guys. I really, really appreciate you.